What is up guys, Ross here, back with another video based on the adventures of 10ACraft Fighter Edition. So, good news guys, Fighter Edition 2 is on the horizon, which means soon we can lay this game to rest. But the sequel won't be out for another while, and since more and more players have started getting into the game, especially in the latter half of 2018, I've decided to start up a series on Fighter Edition guides. I decided to open up the series with a tutorial that is more beginner friendly, and thus, I decided to dedicate this episode to what we call the neutral game. So without further ado, let's get started. So, a lot of you may be wondering, what is the neutral game? This section of the guide is where this will be explained. The neutral game is an ever-changing phase in the match that is determined by whichever player has an advantage over the other in the current situation of the match. The neutral game consists of three states. Neutral, which refers to the state of the match where both players are neutral. Neither one of them has an advantage over the other. Advantage state, where one player attacks or punishes the other player successfully and starts a series of combos or mix-ups. In other words, they have the advantage. And finally, disadvantage, where one player is getting comboed or in a disadvantageous position, example, offstage. In other words, they have the disadvantage. So now that we know what the neutral game is, here are some information and tips for each state. As we've mentioned, the neutral state is where neither player has a distinct advantage over the other. Having a good neutral state boils down to how easily and efficiently you can get a hit on your opponent or force them to make a wrong move and punish accordingly. In the neutral state, it's often a good idea to constantly change the direction of your movements, running back and forth for example, so that you can pressure your opponent by being unpredictable. If you have any good stage control moves, such as projectiles, it's also a good idea to use them during the neutral, as you can keep your opponent at bay while you plan a counterattack to catch their reaction. You can also use attacks within a certain range from your opponent in order to threaten them with an active hitbox. Though be sure to keep yourself unpredictable, or else you'll be the one that'll end up getting punished. In general, characters with great attacking range and projectiles, as well as characters with fast approach options and low cooldown attacks, are generally better at the neutral state because of the various ways they can pressure opponents. Characters such as Alex D and Anna have fast approaching moves and long-range projectiles that can be used in conjunction with one another to trap opponents. Characters like Alex W and Elgin, on the other hand, can apply constant pressure in the neutral with long-lasting, high-damaging hitboxes which can punish hard if they land. Advantage state is when the character has won the neutral and is racking up damage on their opponent. Having a good advantage state depends on how good your combo options are, as well as how fluid your movements are so you can reposition without getting punished. When you've won the neutral and you're racking up damage, always try to keep a mental note of how your attacks function and which moves are available and optimal to use at which time. There are certain moves which cannot combo by themselves, but make great combo extenders once your opponent is at high enough damage. In order to take advantage of your, advantage state, it is crucial that you know your moves and that you can reposition yourself in time. You often only have a short time to capitalize, so don't get too greedy with your attacks. Characters with great advantage states involve characters with powerful yet reliable combo games, as well as characters that have fast repositioning options. Connell and Sharky both can reliably zero to death characters with properly timed attack combinations should they get a good hit on their opponent. And Rebecca's fast attacks and devastating combo game means one mistake can cost the opponent dearly. Finally, Molly's horse attack is very good at stringing together multiple combo chains, in addition to dealing a fairly hefty 13 damage, and it potentially gives Molly a free neutral reset due to how much distance it can cover. Finally, the disadvantage state is when the character is losing the neutral and looking for a way to get back to even ground. Since the advantages side of the neutral game heavily revolves around combos, having a good disadvantage state mostly boils down to how the character can counter this. Stats include how light the character is, since lightweights don't get affected by combos as much as heavy characters, as well as how good their recovering options are so they can get back on the stage. Whether or not they have many great escape options or combo breakers can also be useful if the opponent is leaving themselves open while they attack you. Just because you're getting completely rushed with attacks doesn't necessarily equate to total helplessness. You can change the knockback trajectory of your character simply by changing direction as you get hit. While this can lead to you getting comboed harder, using this wisely can help mix up your opponent and free you a lot quicker. If your opponent is also struggling to chain attacks, or if they delay their repositioning, you can potentially punish them instead, and convert the neutral, should you have any good combo breakers at your disposal. Some examples of characters with good disadvantage states include Ben, Peter, Jasmine, and Laura. All of these characters have great recovering abilities, meaning they can make their way back on stage relatively easily. Ben and Peter also have some excellent conversion options, all of their moves come active on frame 3, while Jasmine and Laura are both light as feathers, which makes comboing them very tricky. And that's a guide! So, by understanding the video, you should be able to understand how the neutral works, what options are vital for capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes, and what to do if you're having a bad time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Not gonna lie, making this video was kinda fun and I really want to do more of these guides. Making games is my passion, and I love doing things to make you guys happy, so if you enjoy the projects that I make and share them with your friends and peers, I'd really appreciate it. It gives me more inspiration to make these guides, as well as inspiration to work on the sequel, but we'll get into that another time. Anyways, thanks for watching, and this is Duncan, signing out. Goodbye.